There is something to be said for keeping certain elements of the original when it comes to designing the graphics of a remade game. In Super Mario RPG's case, this is done through a very specific recreation of the 3/4 angle view, or quasi-3D mode found in the SNES original. In '96, these visuals were top tier on a 16-bit system. It was close to 3D, but not at the same time. The colors were deep, diverse, and saturated, and every element showed off exquisite details. The remade version doesn't tinker with the viewing angle, nor does it adjust the design of buildings or characters. Instead, it's all re-energized with an HD sheen that takes everything and pumps up the contrast, details, and prominence. You've got reflections on shiny, polished surfaces befitting the spectacle of Booster Tower, an actual luxurious look and color design matching the Marrymore Suite that was lacking in the original. There's some nice touches all around. In areas with some verticality, like Moleville and Land's End, you can see colorful new backgrounds in the distance, which grant the world more cohesiveness and depth. You climb the heights of Nimbus Land and stare bewildered at all the puffs of clouds, which honestly looks weird because there's all these creepy, happy face clouds joining in with the more realistic cotton puffs. But it still looks awesome. There's a couple exceptions where the graphics are completely redone, like the janky Mode 7 minecart race being replaced with a fully 3D field. Honestly, I like the original look and feel better here. It had more pace and urgency before, as the rotation effects abruptly shifted to and fro. You can spend so much time on the track in this remake. Slowing down requires a lot more forethought and timing, as even going half speed results in groan-filled moments while you wait for Mario to magically leap off the track, rotate in a circle, before again leaping with a heavy iron cart back onto the track for unclear reasons. Back to focus, gorgeous color palettes and elemental effects are strewn throughout the environments as you progress. Plants and mushrooms in the forest maze give off beautiful glowing pyres. Fire effects are particularly well done when venturing into magma areas, with wonderful lava animation and bold, rich colors that make the heat almost emanate from the screen. Subtle wind effects on foliage, the mesmerizing sparkle and motion of water areas, even the tide coming in and out at Seaside Town, complete the natural, yet cartoony style that was already strong in the SNES release. The beautiful blend of purples, blues, and greens in Star Hill are bolstered with a graphic engine that makes each crater, each rise and fall of the area interesting and spellbinding to look at. There's a natural beauty to Mario RPG's first adventure, and now it looks pretty much like what we'd only dreamed of decades ago. Of course, the added cinematic scenes truly make the retained midget, or squashed, character models come to life in delightful snippets of gorgeous animation. Each one of these clocks in at 20 seconds at the most, and there's not a lot of them, but there's so much to love about each. Seeing Mallow's pathetic jump attempt to catch Croco makes you feel for the character instantly. Geno gets to enjoy tons of splendor, especially in his introductory cutscene that has so much atmosphere and fan service that there is bound to be smiles worldwide. Bowser's animation is on point throughout. Crashing through Booster Tower's door is certainly a lot more fun to look at compared to the original, giving that nostalgic moment an extra boost. Speaking of the Bowser booster dynamic, they even redid each of the possible outcomes for Peach's wedding gear minigame, which results in Mario being assaulted by lips of various characters, including Peach if you do it in an insanely quick time. Seriously, this took me a lot of tries, so much so that I thought it was cut from the game. If you want to see your favorites in this generously animated style past the plot, just charge up that party meter in the battle screen and unleash those triple tech attacks, which are even more lovingly crafted. There's an option to skip them, but I'm guessing many of us didn't, even after multiple viewings. It's extremely well done. When we discuss video game soundtracks, Yoko Shimomura should not need an introduction by this point. Have you played Kingdom Hearts? Yep, her music. Final Fantasy 15? Ever hear of Street Fighter 2? She's got music credits for that as well. She's one of the best. Super Mario RPG ranks right up there as one of her most acclaimed works, and the redone musical versions cement this music in the legendary tier in my book. Every single one of the 61 tracks, except Smithy's Factory for some bizarre reason, is completely remastered with modern technology, not remixed, which I think is for the best, as it's preserved but enhanced. How can you not get excited to explore when you hear this? Even the world map has a rich, wondrous quality to it. And the one-time set pieces, like Dodo's Coming, are given a wonderful boost in quality that creates even more appreciation for the synchronization of instrumentation and player input. My favorite is not one I can even talk about yet because it involves content that belongs in a different section. But I'm guessing most of you hardcore fans have the same vote and can guess what it is. Just show some patience, gamers. Now, are all the new orchestral themes better? Not quite. Booster's theme originally had a sterner, more intense and forward-moving composition. Whereas here, it's still good, but a bit slower, less free-flowing. Luckily, the option to change the music back to the Super Nintendo version is just a couple of menu clicks away. Alright, now I feel back into the Mario RPG mode. Until you forget to change it back, then you wander around, run into an enemy, and you have to endure that god-awful, repetitive, droning battle music again! There's other instances of this happening too, like in the Nimbus Castle, where that repetitive, horrifying laughter makes me want to puke. So I switch it, wander for a bit, and then... Why am I cursed to endure this tune? But I have great news. They actually remixed the battle music in the remake. It's insane! It's almost like my own criticisms and opinions of that music have finally been validated. Don't get me wrong, it's still very similar, but it's not just a 20-second continuous loop of the same awful notes and beats. The main instruments aren't as overpowering as the originals, so despite the melody functionally being very similar, it's not nearly as grating to listen to those first few notes every few seconds. Just please, compare the two. Thank God! The pitch changes every time it loops. Extra xylophone-like instruments come in. And there's actually some changes in the percussion and the sequencing of the melody if the battle becomes extended. The proof is right here, and it's awesome. And I can't be the only one who complained, because as far as I can tell, it's the only song in the entire game which actually has the composition tinkered with and altered once it goes past the first loop. That is not a coincidence. The one gripe I have with the audio department is that there's no voice acting in the least, unless you count and ugh. Not even standard wahoos or let's go from Mario. I know it's keeping with the original, and purists may like it this way, but reading text only, especially in the awesome cutscenes, is such a technological clash that really doesn't jive well. And this will be especially true with modern players experiencing this for the first time. Overall though, Mario RPG's world is saturated with character creations, environments, and an engaging, fun mood that, without even trying, forge the player ahead with excitement. Are the graphics phenomenal? No, they're not anything amazing, even by Switch standards. But the decisions made to preserve the aura of the original while still appealing to Nintendo's younger demographic, combined with a truly peerless soundtrack, does wonders for Mario RPG Remake's value. The presentation is sure to please both younger and more veteran fans of Mario RPG, simply because it's faithful yet improved. There's plenty more to come, so please like and subscribe if you want to see even more insights into the Super Mario RPG Remake. Good to see you, gamers. Happy holidays.